Welcome to ElleVision Podcast. In today's episode, I speak with Stephanie Robieux, co-founder and CEO of OOrion, an innovative tech company based in France using AI to make the world more accessible for visually impaired people. Through her work, Stephanie is not only building cutting-edge technology, but also creating real impact by helping people navigate their everyday lives with more independence. In this conversation, we explore Stephanie's journey, how and why she became an entrepreneur, the risks she took early on, and the mindset that helped her build a purpose-driven startup. I'm Niloufar, and through ElleVision, I talk with experienced people from around the world to share real stories and insights that can help you make better career decisions and spot the opportunities that truly fit you. So I'm so happy to see you here.
Yeah, thank you. Me too.
Great. So it's a pleasure. Can you just tell us about your company in one sentence to know what are you doing?
Yes, of course. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Orion. And at Orion, we developed an app for visually impaired people, helping them to identify and locate things and texts, but also helping places to make themselves more accessible. Hotels, restaurants, supermarkets, thanks to AI algorithms and our own proprietary algorithms.
Okay, so can you share one of your client experience to understand well what your application does?
Yeah, well, there are two axes in Orion. First, it is its use as a tool for the everyday life for visually impaired people. So our users we have now 16,000 users in 32 different languages. So we're in more than 150 countries already. And visually impaired people use it to identify what's around them when they enter a new place, for instance, or to locate precisely where the entrance door is or where the remote control is, or if they look for something precisely and they cannot find precisely the location of the bus station, for instance, they can use Orion and tell Orion, well, I'm looking for the bottle. I know it's somewhere around me, but I don't know precisely where. And then they have to swipe the environment with their phone. And then once Orion finds it, it's going to tell them like beep, beep, beep and vibrations and then guide them towards the object. So it's about last meter and precision and locating the elements. But the other axe is very important because it is on this axe that we base our business model. It's a new tool to make venues more accessible. So if I am a hotel, a restaurant, a supermarket, I can have my own Orion partner space, which basically is a button that adds in the interface of Orion once nearby the place, a new button that adds on and that visually impaired people can access in the same way as the other features. But this button gives access to AI, personalized AI for the place. Like if I'm a hotel, I can add the thermostat in the hotel room as a new object, as a specific object of this place, and associate information about this object. So a place basically can virtually tag its environments. So the entrance door, the welcoming desk, they can also add their menu, like taking picture, it transforms into a button of Orion in the partner space. So basically, globally, it's making a place more accessible through its environment, more accessible, but also services more accessible and information.
Okay, great. So can you just tell us what places are the most, let's say, important for the clients that you have?
Well, actually, we have three at the moment, three verticals that are very different. The first one is because historically, that's the actors that have been coming to us first. It's retail. French, very famous company Carrefour came to us saying that our tool would make their stores more accessible. So we worked together for maybe now 1.5 years or 2 years already to build a partner space that can make their stores more accessible. So the entrance, but then guiding to a specific alley, and then in the alley finding a specific product. So this is the retail market that is very specific, and it's more like collaborating with them to build something quite strong and impressive. But on our side, we have two other verticals. So first, it's hotels. We work with Accor hotels, a few of them now, because it's obviously in France the brand that has the most hotels, and we help them like to locate the entrance of the hotel, but also the welcoming desk, the elevator, the menu. Uh, so yeah, hotels are the second big vertical, and finally restoration. I mean food, because it's kind of a under. I mean a more basic version of the hotel version. I mean, it's you only take the food part of the hotel version and you get the restoration. I mean, fooding things where you only have the menu made accessible, but it's already quite nice for them. And they can also use a button that is in the partner space, enabling them to call directly the restaurant and make the reservation. And when you're vision per person, it gives you so much autonomy. It's very important.
So, have you heard about users' experience?
Yeah, yeah. Because it's kind of the first thing we did to first to know the need of this community, to go into organization in France and abroad, and to have this very strong community around Orion. We have now a few hundreds vision impaired people that are very, very implicated in our developments and collaborate with us and help at every stage of our developments. So of course, the partner spaces was something they suggested to us, and they told us, well, the menu is something I can hardly have in an autonomously way. So actually, it's kind of a like it's always been this way. Like we take the feedback first before developing something, and so it was a suggestion from them. But then we developed those partner spaces, and then we suggested to our users to go there, to go to the places and do us feedbacks, and they were absolutely like astonished by how now the whole environment and basic info, but it's something quite simple, but they couldn't have access to the phone number of the hotel master or something like this. And so it's very basic, but it's something they've dreamed for a very long time.
Okay, it's really a thing create values and for people, and it's really interesting
Yeah,
to know
yeah.
that such a value created for people
Mm,
and make life easier for them.
yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. But how did you get there, Stephanie?
Actually, I come from kind of the tech part of the history, because I first was in engineering school in France, in Central Lyon, so it's quite a big school in Lyon, and we learned at the time, it was 4 years ago, the first very optimized algorithms that were fully embarked on smartphones. And so it like offered new possibilities to develop very performant and flexible tools. And so it's not as if the need was new, because vision impaired people have always had this problematic of to identify and looking things. But it's really the tech becoming mature enough to develop this tool. And so kind of a question of right moments and will at the right moment at the right place, and motivating me to do it. And actually, I met a blind lady in Lyon at the end of my studies, and that's how really the idea was like popped in my head. Like she was telling me about her everyday life and how finding and identifying things precisely was an issue, and how nothing very flexible existed. And so at the time I said, I'm sure I'm not the first one to have the idea, sure, but maybe I'm the first one to have both the idea and the knowledge, technical knowledge. And so that's how I decided to go on with this adventure. Yeah.
Okay, it's great. So, how did you gather your teammates?
Actually, my associate Thomas, who is the CTO of Orion, he was also at school with me. He was more technical than me. Actually, he was data scientist who developed a lot at the time, and we knew each other from school. And for a few months, he was helping us, but not 100% of his time. I mean, he was working elsewhere. And progressively, I think I did. Actually, humbly speaking, I think I did the right job to show him that it was worth it to launch him at 100%. And so that's how first my associate and I, finally got 100% both of us. And then it's kind of mix of luck and feeling, a lot of intuition to find the right first employees, and then to make them uh, like to integrate them to the project and to make them committed to Orion. And actually, it worked quite well with our first employee, Excel, who is now my head of operations. And so now we're 5 in the team, and soon we will be 6. And hopefully in 2026 we'll be 7 or 8.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Expanding. Yeah.
So what was one risk you took early on that paid off now?
The risk I took early on was actually to launch instead of doing my end of studies internship. You know, in France, when you do an engineering school, it's kind of something known that at the end of the studies, you have 6 months in your last year, usually, to do your first professional experience during 6 months. And it's known that this experience is very important for your professional career afterwards.
Yes.
And so at the time, choosing not to do this and to launch myself instead, and to have an idea and to try to create my own company and everything, was something quite risky, because it was it's something I completely do this. How do you say? I do sacrifice this for my intuition and my something that attracts me, but I'm not sure of. So it was risky, but it was not that big of a risk if I think about it afterwards, because I was young, I was very dynamic and full of energy, and I think it was the right moment to do it anyways.
Yeah, I can see. And when did you realize entrepreneurship was right for you?
Actually, at this moment, and everything was happened quite at the same moment. Actually, because at the end of my studies, before having the idea of Orion, I thought I would have a very basic career for an engineer, like entering a big group or a consulting firm, and something all my friends did actually. So there was also comparison to the others, like saying, am I the one making the right choice, or am I the fool one doing something crazy instead of doing something safe? And everything happened quite at the same time. I think I was 23 years old, and I chose to launch. I mean, I chose to do the jump, and kind of the moment. But doing first, it was, I think, an intuition, like a feeling that it would be fun and it would be something for me, but I was not sure of it because I didn't experience it before. So I had this feeling growing into me, like for a few weeks, few months, and then I was like, okay, I think I need this time to follow my intuitions. And so this is how I figured out doing it, that it was kind of made for me, like the stimulation, being my own boss, making decision all the time and choosing where I'm going. And yeah, I think it's kind of the same moment I realized that my intuition was good and I was made.
Yeah, it's great. So, you mentioned that you are gonna hiring one person. I just want to know, what are the skills you are looking in a person to hire them?
Oh, well, do you mean it for a specific role?
Whatever. I mean, whatever is really interested you to choose one person. It can be like 3 things, 1 thing.
Well, regardless to the capacities and the tool he know that this person knows to use, how to use, and regardless to hard skills, I would say, because of course I'm looking for someone who knows, for instance, for developer, someone who knows how to code, of course, and who also who likes to like dig deep into problematics and to solve problematics, which is why sometimes when we look for technical profile, we kind of look for engineers, because we look for some people wanting to solve problematics and wanting to do R&D and research, kind of research things, because we want to stay at the top of the wave, But regardless to this, we are very strongly looking for the fits with me and my associates, because my associate and I are two very different people. We have two completely different personalities, and we don't think the same way, but we know we have the same vision, long-term vision, and we have the same will in terms of atmosphere of our in our startup. And so it happened in the past that we missed. We did wrong recruiting some people that were not fitting the team. So now it's really having a good fit, saying, okay, if I was gonna spend one after work with him, would I would I have a nice time? Would it be interesting? Would it be comfortable? Would I be comfortable with this person? Would I be free to speak? So even if we are the bosses, we know that we have to feel comfortable with those people, and we have to want to spend time with this person. And this is why now we don't do 100% remote, because we want the person to fit and really in real life be in the team, to be sure that we are comfortable with this person.
Yeah, create a
Connection.
culture.
Yeah, and
Connection.
culture and connection with the rest of the team. And it's possible because we're only 5 for the moment.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's great. So, Stephanie, what is it like building a startup in France? I mean, if you want to say us shortly the procedure, or is it really a hard thing, or it's a really straightforward thing?
To launch a startup in France?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say it's a straight thing. I mean, no, I think if somebody asked me now, if someone told me 4 years ago that it would take me 4 years to be here now, and if someone told me about all the obstacles that we have to face and everything, I'm not sure I would have the strength the faith. But now, looking back at it, I think it's just a question of resilience and determination. I mean, there are very hard moments that make difference between an entrepreneur and a non-entrepreneur. Those moments are key moments, because those are the moments where someone, a lambda person, would give up, because it's hard, and so not easy to grab it and to continue and to keep like our target, and to not to give up. And so I think really that it's the capacity to overcome those moments that make you an entrepreneur. And so, yes, it's hard, but I think it's kind of part of the definition. And it's not hard. I mean, it's not physically hard. It's more about the roller coaster things. The fact that sometimes it's very, very happy before. I mean, when it's a positive moment, it can be very intense, but when it's negative, it's very intense too. So you have to be strong on have strong shoulders to carry all of this. But I would say that the hardest part is just to stay on the long term, and to be resilient and tenacity, I think.
Okay. So what's great about French ecosystem, and what's missing?
So what's great about the French ecosystem is that many actors exist to help us and to do emulation and to mix people and to make connections. Also, banks like BNP or CIC, also yeah, French Tech, BPI. So many actors are dedicated to make the ecosystem something valuable for you. But I think that what is missing is the capacity to assume ambitious projects and to boost ambitious startups at a higher scale. I think that on this subject, we are not as advanced as the United States or even other ecosystem, maybe in Germany or maybe in Netherlands. So yeah, I would say that the ecosystem is very rich in terms of connecting people and the network, but in terms of resources and financial resources and financial support for startups, and maybe selectivity also. Maybe it should be more selective, but yeah, boosting more their startups is something that they can make effort on. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see. As a woman founder, what support have you found?
A gap still exists. Well, I'm not a kind of girl saying that being a girl was a hurdle, actually. Why? Because also I did like an engineering school where there was only like 20% of girls among the students. So it's not my type of vision. For me, one of the best way to be feminist is to make it. I mean, to do it, to launch our company, to be an engineer, to be a scientist. So I think it's just doing it and building things are the best way to prove that women are stronger. I mean, as strong as men on this field too. Also in entrepreneurship, but of course, things have been maybe indirectly more complicated because the all the people you speak to, all the decision makers, most of them are men, whether it's about banking, investments, business, or even technical interlocutors. They're all very massively men. So of course, if it were more mixed and like balanced between men and women, I think that it would be easier for women to be comfortable in this ecosystem. But I didn't think about this, and I think that's why I came this long. And now I'm gonna be closing raise funding at the end of the year because I was not thinking about the fact that less women are able to raise funds than men in startups. Yeah, I mean, if we believe the figures, yeah, that's the figures that are have been like the studies that have proved this. So yeah, I think it's just don't think about this and just launch and don't think about the fact that you're a woman, but it could be a hurdle because of course, but making it won't be will transform it into not a hurdle.
Yeah, it's gonna be more suffering, but instead you can just do it and then
Yeah, you just
go
need
for
not
it.
to think too much about the fact that you're a woman. Maybe, of course, sometimes it's gonna be a hurdle, but it's okay because all the other times you're just gonna prove people that you're a woman making it.
Yeah.
So don't be focused on the hurdle that it implies, and focus on sometimes being like put in light because you're a woman. I mean, actually, for me, many times in I don't know, maybe prizes I won or challenges I won. Sorry. Well, the fact that I was a woman, it was not like official that the fact that I was a woman helped, but I'm sure that sometimes it helped also because they had to put a lady in front and everything. So yeah, I just don't think about it and just move
Yeah, it's
on.
great. Then, I mean, what or who inspires you in your path?
What inspires me in my path? Actually, I haven't had any entrepreneur in my family before, so I'm not so much inspired by other entrepreneurs. It's not really my thing, but I think I have. Well, one person in mind is that my grandfather discovered. Well, he was a physicist, and he discovered long time ago nuclear fusion by laser. And so he was a really, really brilliant scientist, and he was an inventor and an innovator. And so I think it's the fact, yeah, having a vision, a long-term vision that is not shared at the instance, the right instance you think it, but you have the long-term vision to think, well, I think that in a few years it's going to be this way. My grandpa thought that in a few years climate change would be a problem, and pollution would be a problem because of, like, yeah, uh, environment issues. And so he was a very visionary person. And so I'm quite inspired by people who are visionary, among ahead of their time, kind of.
Yes, I can see. So let's close our discussion. It was very pleasure to talk to you. But if you could give one piece of advice to the next generation of founders, I mean, what would it be?
It would be that there's no right moment to take the risk. So take it at the moment you think about it. I mean, the younger you take it, the less risk you will take also. So yeah, I would say follow your intuitions, because sometimes, I mean, if you think too much rationally, you will never gonna make it, because you're always gonna think about all the potential hurdles. And I think that the only way you can a way to accomplish it for sure is to follow your intuitions that it's gonna work, and do everything to make your intuition right. Yeah. Actually, when I do something, I feel like I've been doing this for the very beginning of Orion, and I still do it now. Like, if I look for funds, for instance, if I'm gonna accomplish my goal, because I'm sure I will accomplish it. Just a matter of how I do it and how long, and with what means I will do it. But it's not a question of if I'm gonna do it and arrive to it, because this is not a question. So be sure of your intuitions, follow them surely and with confidence.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was very nice.
It was a pleasure talking to you.